knew we will go to Worlds when I got the offer from H2K. That's why I took it, because I just wanted to prove that I can win something or do something, just qualify somewhere, because I've never done that. I never won anything, so I really wanted to do that with H2K, and that was my goal, and that's what I was expecting from us. Everyone from the team is a really good player, so it was, for me, it was very different from the previous teams I was on, because on the previous teams I was sort of like a star player, and then when I joined H2K I was like the underdog or the outsider, because the team was together for a very long time and I had to somehow fit in, and it took me a long time to fit in. So it was different because usually when I was playing the split before in Renegades, then I was sort of the main voice of the bot lane. I was telling my support what to do, where he should trade, where he should engage, stuff like that. And with Vander it was different because he has his own mind and his own way of playing, and he wanted to do it his way. So it was like a sort of, he was doing a lot of stuff himself alone, and I didn't have to do much for him to do that. I always played so much, like I used to play 10 solo queue games a day and with scrims, so like scrims and on top of that 10 solo queue game a day. And then when the hand started being bad, I just started playing way less and less, which I just couldn't play more because it hurt, and I was forcing myself sort of to play. So like what I did was try to rest as much as possible, and then in the free time I had, I was watching VODs and other players' streams, try to improve this way. So like when I couldn't use my hands, I just used my brain to like get better in the game. Well, I don't really know quite yet, because it has been very difficult for me as a player to like get through this healing process, because I was traveling with the team everywhere, and from week to week I didn't know if we qualify to different stage or different group, like semifinals, you know, quarterfinals. I didn't know anything, so it was very hard for me to schedule appointment with doctors, and I had to be abroad as well. So I have to go back to Czech Republic and check out how well was my rehab doing or how much it healed, and then they will tell me more, obviously. So right now I don't really know much. I don't quite think it needs a unique talent, because you play the game for a long time, you already know how the game goes, you know a lot about the game, you have a lot of game knowledge, and all it takes is just you caring and wanting to do it, right? So if you want to do and help your team and help them, like, and for example me, I was helping them with bot lane matchups, bot lane theories, like watching enemy bot lanes, telling them what they do, stuff like that. So if you want to do that, it's very simple and it's helpful, because you will take a lot of work from the coaching stuff. So there was like this eternal struggle for me, because you know, like Forgiven, he has been my rival for the majority of my career or competitive gaming. And the problem with it, it's like I don't want to help him much, because then, you know, there's a chance you just take my spot on the team, right? So I would have to only help like Vander more and try to help Forgiven as less as possible. And that was like the struggle, because I wanted my team to win, but I didn't want to improve Forgiven to the point where I would be useless to the team, right? So yeah, it was hard. For sure, because I was always a type of player that grinded to get better. So I played so many games mindlessly, almost trying to just improve mechanics, or accidentally, you know, stumble upon something that would make me improve, make me realize what better strategy I can use. And then when I couldn't practice, I started watching VODs of enemy players, and it was just so much different. It was a different perspective for me. It changed the way I look at the game, because if you keep playing like solo queue and keep grinding, and then you look at your own plays, sure, you will improve, but there's not much, like those will be small improvements. But then if you look at enemy player or like a good player from Korea, and you look what they do in certain situations and how they play, you will see so many different things that they do and you don't, and then it makes you feel like yeah, this guy is, that's what he did was really smart, and I wouldn't realize that if I wouldn't look at it, because if I would kept playing in my own world, I wouldn't never found out. I think it was G2, because the way they play, it was just very tilting for us. If we lose early game, it's very hard to it's very hard for us to reset and get back into the game and come back. So if we get a lead, it's very easy for us to win. If we don't get lead, it's very hard for us to win. So G2 was always fighting and like sort of outplaying us, and that was just yeah, pretty hard. Everything was different, surprisingly, right? But I loved it, everything. Like I always have, like, from each city I have moments and things I saw that I liked, things I didn't. But it's a very unique experience to just travel across like the US, you know, all the way from the east to west, and it's just different. Every country or every state you guys have is different culture, and it feels amazing. You know, like get all these experiences in a short time. Well, we're from Europe, so we joke around very, like, it's offensive if I would say the stories, I think, so it's inappropriate to share the stories, I think, and I'm not sure if I can, yeah. The most challenging thing that was when Forgiven came back to the team, and the team had to play with him, because that was like me getting to the point where I can't play anymore very quickly, and then they had a pretty bad ending with Forgiven, most of the team players on the team. And what I respect them for the most is that they just, you know, they bite into it and they went through it, even though they didn't really feel like playing with him again after what happened. So I've noticed that this Worlds has been like the top of our friendship, I would say, because a lot of people just joke around a lot between each other. They call each other names and just make fun of each other a lot more than they did before Worlds, and it's just nice to see. You know, it's very funny to be around with these guys, and you just enjoy the moments and know that this is, you know, one opportunity at the time. You know. So Jankos, he has been playing super well in the season. He has been known as the first Black King, right? And then at some point I didn't really think like he can improve much more, because he was just performing a lot more. And like his problem was his mid game. He was like the best early game jungle ever, like in Europe. And then his mid game was usually very shaky when he got stressed out and didn't really like feel confident in what he wants to do, and then sometimes he just screwed up and died, or didn't do much as he should have. And that was the main point of improvement at Worlds, when at Worlds not only he improved his early game, where I think he was like one of the best junglers in the entire like world competition. He got first blood almost in every game for us, and then not only that, but then he improved the mid game. When he transitioned into mid game, he started being more confident with his shot calling, with his Drake calls, with his rotation calls, with his ability to just help the team move around the map, and that helped so much for the team, because it sort of like we didn't really know what to do in mid game, and Ryu and Jankos, they were the very two big points of stepping up and for us to do so well in mid game and at Worlds. MF support, so I would love to play MF support as AD carry, because I would just love to try it. But it's a very specific champion, and it's very smart, and I'm pissed at myself that I didn't thought of it, because MF is really big into Zyra, and no one has thought of it the entire Worlds, because Zyra was the strongest support. And then at the very end, just Koreans start playing MF support, and they just for some reason realize that it's really strong, and they combine it with very playmaking AD carries like Ashe and Jhin, and that's very deadly. There's not much you can do as an enemy bot lane. You will always get pressured, and then you will always die if you get hit by arrows. So it's like the OP lane right now with the Ashe MF. I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, it's amazing that we got top 4 and I get to see all these good teams playing each other, see the scrims in the team, and just I had no expectation of being top 4, like nowhere near. I knew that we would get out of groups, that much I knew, and then if we would get a good, really good opponent or like easier opponent in quarters, we had a possibility of winning. But like, just getting straight up to top 4 even after like thinking we could maybe get there, it's just amazing. You know, like no one has expected us to go top 4. It's not really long. You know, you have 2 months and then you start playing again because of Worlds. Normally, if you don't play Worlds or relegation, you have 4 months of vacation, EU vacation. But so now I have 2 months. I go back to Czech Republic. I finally start solving the hand because I now finally have time. I don't have to travel around and cancel all my appointments with my doctors. So that's gonna help. And then I own a bar that I want to help run it a bit more so it runs better. And then some game festivals in Czech Republic, chilling with friends, Christmas, just chilling, yeah.